Hey everyone, welcome to Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss a recent interview with Halloween icon, the OG Michael Myers himself, Nick Castle. Now in the interview, he shares not one but two fantastic details surrounding the ending of this current David Gordon Green trilogy, and also if this will indeed be the final movie of the franchise. Let's go. So Bloody Disgusting recently published an article featuring the comments of Nick Castle, who of course played Michael Myers in the 1978 original Halloween and has cameos in all three of the current David Gordon Green trilogy films. Now he shed some light on how Halloween Ends is actually going to end. So let's dive in. The headline reads, Nick Castle teases that Halloween Ends will have a, quote, surprising conclusion. Now, the article goes on to say, the original Shape actor Nick Castle will once again make a brief appearance as Michael Myers in Halloween Ends, and it's Castle who provides an interesting new tease this week. Nick Castle told the crowd at Steel City Con, my good friend James Jude Courtney, he's doing 99% of the work in the last three movies as Michael Myers and doing a wonderful job, I think. I just saw he was over at the editing room where they're completing the first cut of Halloween Ends with David Gordon Green, of course, as the steward of the ship. It sounds like it should be pretty good, Castle continues. I do a little cameo in this new one. We'll have the end of at least the David Gordon Green version of Halloween. I think there might be more because of all the success of this trilogy. But Green will have a very surprising storyline ending for everyone. It's absolutely something I don't think you would have ever guessed in terms of the way it's going to unroll. Okay, so I want to break this down in two parts. So the first thing I want us to talk about here is how he says that I think there might be more Halloween movies because of all the success of this trilogy. And this goes back to something that I have mentioned many times here in live streams and in videos, is the fact that there is so much money on the table. The reason I believe Halloween Ends is not the end for Halloween. It may just be the end of the Strode family story, Laurie's story, or maybe Laurie and Allison, who knows? It's the end of this Strode story, especially Laurie, maybe more. For sure it's that, but I don't think it's necessarily more than that, because if this movie brings in the kind of revenue we saw with Kills brought in like 130 million, and that was with a simultaneous release at home on Peacock. So a lot of people never even went to the theater. It still made 130 million in the theater, well over 200 million for Halloween 2018. So if this movie, if Halloween Ends comes in at that, anywhere around that, if it got like 130 to 150 to 200, anywhere in that area or higher, there's no convincing in the world for me there's no convincing in me that this was not going to continue in some form or fashion. It may not continue the way we're used to seeing it continue, but I could completely see that after a 2 to 4 year layoff of no Halloweens, just take a break, get a new vision, reestablish what they're going to do, plan it all out, and then, start making the plans to hire, cast, and film. That could be a few years, but I think it's going to happen. And I think that it will happen in one of two ways. We're either going to see Halloween come back as, Michael Myers returns with a brand new family, a brand new mission, a brand new whatever. a brand new victims, all new, completely new from fresh, and he'll be young again. We'll start it off like basically just restarting with a brand new direction. That's one option, and the one I lean towards, because I mean, let's face it, Michael Myers is the face of the franchise. I mean, you take out Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, it's only Michael Myers, and that is, and you could argue Jamie Lee Curtis, but there's a lot of movies she's not even in. So it really is it's Michael Myers. It's that white mask, that jumpsuit. That is the face of Halloween. That's what's made the money for the studio. So I think that personally, they're going to bring Michael back. That's what I think will happen after a break. But it's going to be a new Michael, new people, new everything. I wouldn't be surprised if if Haddonfield wasn't even in it, but they could keep it there. But it would not surprise me if everything was new with Michael. So that's one option. The other option is that they actually do what they tried to do in Halloween 3 with the anthology idea, where they start fresh with every movie's different. There's no connection to the movies except the title. There's the title of Halloween. Other than that, they're not shared stories. They're completely separate, and they just do a new movie every 2 years when Michael Myers isn't even there. That's a possibility also. I think both of those are plausible to happen, but I do think this, no matter which way you look at it, whether you lean towards the anthology or Michael Myers, it is entirely safe to say that one of those two scenarios, or maybe a third one that I haven't thought of yet, but one of those two likely will happen. And Nick Castle agrees. He says that he thinks that there might be more. I believe he's correct. Now, the second thing I want to point out that he mentions here, which is extremely interesting, is where he says David Gordon Green is going to have this very surprising storyline ending for everyone. It's absolutely something I don't think you would have ever guessed in terms of the way it's going to unroll. Now, I have to say, I'm all for surprises and twists and the unexpected in general, but I have to say, with all of the things surrounding this movie, like the radio tower, for example, and what about the Shamrock masks and all of these things, this comment, honestly, it makes me nervous. It makes me more nervous than it does excited, because he's saying that there's going to be a surprising ending for everyone, and he says it's absolutely something I don't think you would have ever guessed in terms of the way it's going to roll out. So I don't know. Again, I'm going to stay optimistic. I've told you guys I'm staying positive, and I am hoping for an amazing ending, an epic conclusion to this trilogy. And I'm really curious, though, what he's talking about. I do wish I could get into his brain for a minute just to peek behind the curtain and see exactly what he means when he says the way it's going to unroll, a surprise ending for everyone, and we never would have guessed it. I don't know. This has got me nervous. I'm okay. I'll say a little excited too, but it does also fuel a little bit of that uneasiness that I've had ever since David Gordon Green's comments about the importance of the radio tower. And I just don't want this to be a crazy ending. I just want it to be good. I don't mind crazy in terms of chaotic, like murder and death and just insanity. That's fine. What I mean by crazy is, you know what I'm talking about, like his mask is controlled, like a Shamrock mask, or there's some kind of signal being sent from the radio tower that sets off his powers, and anything like that. That's what I don't want to see. I'm a little bit nervous, though, when Nick Castle says this. This is something that really, I can't quite shake it. But when he says, I don't think you would have ever guessed in terms of the way it's going to unroll, oh, man. I don't know. I wish I could actually hear his actual voice tone when he said that. And whether it's like, that you can inflect that in a lot of different ways. So we'll see. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see for sure. But I just wanted to mention this to you guys. I wanted to share this with you in case you hadn't heard it yet. It's been out for a few days. I haven't had a chance to do it yet. so I'm a little bit late, but I wanted to mention this to you guys because I think it bears repeating and contemplating, and certainly bears out having some theories. So, speaking of theories, guys, I want to know what you think about what Nick said here. What about his comments about the surprising storyline ending for everyone that he does not think we will ever have guessed the way this is going to happen and unroll? I'd love to hear what you guys think about those comments. What do you think about it? I want to hear your opinions, your ideas, and theories about what you expect to see and how you expect it to happen. So leave your comments below right now so we can start discussing it together. Well, guys, that's going to be it for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Halloween Ends and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.